Is there anything that you can tell us about the different Mossi objects or about your identity coming from the Mossi ethnic group or what you know about the art?
So coming from a Mossi ethnic group is like really good because in my country, Mossi ethnic group is like the most dominant, and we have like a really cultural centered like ways of living in like most African countries, and like in Burkina Faso, even though like we were colonized by the French people, but then like we still kept part of like our cultures. I lived in the city. I was born in the city, but then like that doesn't prevent me from like knowing a little bit, like even not all, even if it's not all of the culture. So like we kept some of the stuff like greeting. But about the masks, I will say that like in general, like masks are used for like decorative purpose. There are masks also used for like so because masks are like they people in my country, they feel like masks have superpowers. So like some of them are used for like during the harvesting season. Like the people go to the mask and they ask them for like a good like harvest, and then like they also go to the mask to ask them for like fertility, like because some women cannot give birth, and like since they think masks have superpowers, and I don't know, I'm Christian, but then like I heard that people go to the mask and ask for like fertility and actually get the fertility. So you will see a woman, she cannot give birth for like 20 years, and then like she and her husband goes to the mask and they do some kind of rituals, and then like maybe 1 year later she gives birth to twins or like some. I'm actually glad that you and your team are researching about the mask. When like I received the email, I was like, wow, actually there are people interested about like knowing more about African cultures and all that. Because the thing is, it's really good to do research in African culture and all that, but you have very limited access to like documentation, and that's due about the fact that like the elderly, they die with all their knowledge.
What comes to mind when you think of African brilliance?
Okay, when I think of African brilliance, I think about like African culture.